Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The SMG category here in Warzone 2 is extremely competitive. Like, honestly, you can make a case for every single SMG being a very solid and competitive option right now. But today, I wanted to narrow it down to the top 5 best SMGs we currently have in the game. And we're starting here first at number 5 with the MX9, the AUG SMG version. This is definitely the highest skill gap SMG in my opinion. And I say that because its magazine capacity is terrible, just outright. 32 rounds is the max magazine capacity here, which means you have to be very smart with how you approach engagements. But those who can utilize this weapon well are going to thrive because it's TTK, its ease of use, its mobility, everything about it is really consistent. So first up here, I do have the Cronin Mini Pro. I just can't stand the iron sights on this gun. You'll see for the other SMGs who are basically all iron sights, this is not the case. The iron sights are atrocious in my opinion. I go for that blue dot. I tune that for the furthest eye position, and it's slightly faster ADS in there too, which is a nice sort of balance to that con there, so that works out well. Behind the face cam, I'm actually using the C11 Comb Riser. This is going to help out with your ADS and your sprint to fire. Obviously, all the SMGs, you want to capitalize on their movement because that's what's going to make them, you know, very competitive. You got to bridge the gap to those close range engagements, so these can thrive. And I tune this for the better ADS, and then also slightly better recoil stabilization in this case, just to keep it nice and balanced. You could also go for aim walking speed though on that left slider if you wanted to. Like I said, you got to use the 32 round mag. This is a must have. Also, it got a buff with the last update, so that's going to make it nice and consistent and really fast as well, which is pretty convenient. I got the RR40 suppressor on here. You'll see this on basically every single SMG setup here today. It's the best close range suppressor because it's only hurting your ADS and your stability, not anything else that's, you know, too crucial for close range based setups. So that's nice and ideal. It does help out the velocity and the range, which is sort of added benefits there, while still keeping you off the compass. And I tune this for that faster ADS, then also the better velocity as well. Then lastly, I go for the Bruin S901 barrel, which will increase the range and the velocity, which is nice, but also the movement speed and the hip fire accuracy. So this thing is a really good barrel for an aggressive player. You're going to get some mid-range out of it, but also enhance your close range even more. And I tune this for mobility, for the better ADS speed and the better aim walking speed as well. So all around, this thing for some close range and potentially even a little bit of sniper support is really reliable. Now at number 4, I've got the Minibak. This thing again has a lot going for it. It's got the large magazine by default, so unlike some of these other SMG options where you have to go out of your way to use that magazine attachment, you don't have to do that here. It's already got that covered, so you can use that attachment elsewhere to increase maybe some control, some mobility, something like that, which is really convenient. Also has really good damage and very low recoil in general, so this thing is one of my favorite SMGs right now just based off of how it feels in game, but it's also very lethal in the right hands too. So first up here, I do go for the True Tack Grip. This is for better ADS and sprint to fire, again just to help out with that general mobility, and I tune to maximize that for the better sprint to fire and for the better ADS as well. I also use the I don't know how to say this, Atrazat stock. It's the stock that increases your aim walking speed, so your strafe speed, and then also your sprint speed. This is a nice sort of like, this is what I'm getting out of not using a magazine, right? You don't have to use a stock. You could always switch this to an optic if you don't like the irons or maybe something else, but truly I feel like the other stocks that hurt your control aren't going to benefit this gun. So this one with minimal cons and the ability to actually tune for even better mobility here with the better stability and ADS, I'm actually a really big fan of. Just makes the gun a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more lethal up close. In this case for the laser, I'm trying out the Peck Box 4. This is just for better ADS speed, of course, though I always talk about the Olay laser. This is never a bad choice, but both of these will help out the ADS speed. The Olay does do sprint to fire as well, so keep that in mind, but either of those would work just fine. I've got the 279 barrel. This is for slightly better range and velocity and hip fire control. Obviously with subs, you are going to hip fire a decent amount up close as well, so helping out all fronts there. And I tune this for that better ADS and better aim walking speed. And then lastly, again, we got the RR40 suppressor on there. Basically the same tunes here, better velocity, slightly better ADS as well. So you're getting a lot out of this gun. It packs a punch up close, and you can just spray and pray and wipe squads with this thing without ever having to worry about ammo. By the way, as we are going through all the best subs today, just a reminder, if you are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, class setups, tips, you name it, you are going to find it right here. I'm your one-stop shop, so if you want to guarantee you're always up to date, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, join us ultimately on the road to 1 million subscribers. And if you guys enjoy this video or if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Let's aim for 2,000 likes on this one. Now next up here at number 3, I've got the Lachmann sub. Frankly, this in the number 2 spot, you can make an argument argument for either one being in either position. They're very close and very competitive, but the MP5 here, again, it's got a lot going for it. This is one of the easier SMGs to use in terms of control. So even for some mid-range, some sniper support like areas, this thing is really reliable for that. Clean iron sights, good mobility, especially with the setup that we've got here. Also though, a really good TTK as well. So checking all the right boxes, which is what you need out of a top tier weapon in any given category. So here we got the Cronus grip. This initially helps with flinch resistance, but mainly I'm using this so I can tune it for the better ADS and sprint to fire. Unfortunately, there's no rear grip here that helps out with mobility, so this is the closest thing you can get to actually helping out with that. I also go for the 40 round mag, just your basic extended mag. You know, the 30 is not really the greatest for duos, trios, and quads, so that's going to be a nice little safety net there. 1 milliwatt laser here for the faster ADS, or you can go for the 7 milliwatt as well, which is basically like the Olay laser for that faster ADS and that faster sprint to fire. Again, use either or of those. They're both really good choices. Now I do also go for the 12-inch barrel here. This is basically the equivalent of a Subway sandwich, and I go ahead and I tune this for the better recoil control and the better ADS speed, while also getting the better range, velocity, and control out of this. Keep in mind though, this is going to slow this build down some. So if you want a super snappy MP5 build, frankly, I would drop the barrel and maybe add on like the shark fin underbarrel and tune that for, you know, the better speed there. This though is going to help out and make it even easier to use for some mid-range and even some longer close range fights that you might run into with an SMG for those specific areas. So I like the consistency and the feel of this build, but keep in mind, it's not the fastest build in the world. It is meant to be easy to use. Then again, I also go for the RR40 suppressor tune for that faster ADS and that better velocity as well. No surprises there, but you could definitely mess around with your build here and tune it for your liking, or adjust, you know, the barrel for a different attachment to your liking. But overall, MP5 Lachmann sub, as it's more formally known, very good choice. Now, like I said, the number 2 and 3 spots are right next to each other, really. At number 2, I've got the Vaznev, although you could make an argument for the MP5 being at number 2. This is another SMG that is very reliable in terms of ease of use. I don't find the control to be too hard, so that's why I go for a lot of mobility-based, you know, upgrades with the setup here. It also has a fantastic close-range TTK, and its mobility is my favorite thing about it. I feel like you just fly around at this thing, so you're flying and you're frying, the best phrase there could possibly be for this scenario, right? So here again, I go for the true tag grip. On here, we're tuning for that faster ADS and that faster sprint to fire yet again. Now, I have been messing around with the R7 stock. This is going to be for better movement all around. It hurts your control, but overall, I found that it's still very easy to use for close range. You get to some mid-range, it's a little bit more bouncy, but for SMG areas primarily, it still is totally usable. In this case, I would tune this for better stability and ADS. That said, what I have changed to give me the R7 stock is either dropping off the cast barrel or dropping off the 45 round mag. You may want to use this on here if you want that added safety net. Just keep in mind, for whatever reason on the 45 round mag, the reload is abysmal. It's so slow. So that's why I try and avoid this, but I also am not a huge fan of only having 30 rounds. So again, it's sort of higher skill gap, higher sort of, you know, smarts gap, if you will. You got to be, you know, thinking about your engagements here with your ammo count regardless. Olay laser on here for that faster sprint to fire and ADS yet again. Shark fin underbarrel in this case, the free stabilization, and I tune for the better strafe and ADS speeds there, so some extra added mobility. And again, no surprises, the RR40 muzzle, same tunes as before, basically better ADS speed, better bullet velocity on this one as well. Been talking a lot about the Vaznev recently. Thing is a beast. I love it. And then of course, absolutely zero surprises here at the number 1 spot, but it is still the Fennec. This thing's close range TTK unmatched. It might have a little bit more bounce in some mid-range. It might have, you know, a slightly slower mobility because the 45 round mag than these other subs. But once you have your sights aimed down, once you are hitting shots on a target, they stand no chance, especially if they're using any of these other subs. Like, yes, they're all very competitive, but the Fennec is the true standout at number 1. This thing literally deletes players. It's absolutely absurd and probably going to be nerfed here in the future. Here I got the rubber grip. I tune that for the better sprint to fire and slightly better recoil just because there is some bounce here. Obviously, you're getting the sprint to fire and the ADS out of the core attachment as is. You gotta run the 45 round mag because that damage per mag is so bad with 30, and frankly, it's not much better with 45, but it's a little something extra on there. 7 milliwatt laser, better ADS and sprint to fire yet again. Shark fin underbarrel yet again as well, on same tunes, basically better aim walking speed, better ADS speed. Then lastly, once more, we do have the RR40 suppressor on there. I tune this for the better velocity just to make it feel a little bit more consistent in potentially some mid-range, then also the better ADS speed yet again. So this thing is snappy. This thing is still relatively quick, obviously for mobility-based, you know, stuff here. We're not going full focus on that. However, it's an SMG. It's still going to be able to be very aggressive and agile. And like like I said, its damage and its TTK are absolutely absurd. So all that being said, those are the current top 5 best SMGs here in Warzone 2. And that's going to wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you are new to the channel and you want to guarantee you're always up to date with the latest between MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.